I'd actually like to start this video by reviewing a concept that you learned about on the previous, in your previous lesson. Okay, so I'm going to read you a list of words, and all I need you to do is to listen carefully to this list of words, okay, as I'm reading them. Bed, quilt, dark, silence, fatigue, clock, snoring, night, toss, tired, night, artichoke, turn, night, rest, dream. Now I'd like for you to pause the video and write down as many of the words as you can remember. Pause it now. So hopefully now we're back. You've written down all of the words that you can remember, and here are the words that I read to you. So you can see now, were there any errors in your memory? Did you, for example, include the word sleep, even though I didn't read you the word sleep? If so, that's an example of the constructive nature of our memory. Sleep fits the schema that I created here for you in reading this list of words, right? Sleep is obviously part of this schema, and so that might have led you to remember the word sleep, even though I didn't say it. Artichoke, probably most people remembered the word artichoke because of its distinctiveness. It doesn't fit with the schema, right? It stands out, so we call that semantic distinctiveness. You probably remembered the word night because of the frequency of the word night. I read it to you several times. And then you might have remembered toss and turn because of chunking, right? We tend to think of these things as going together. I toss and turn at night. But pay attention. Did you find yourself remembering more the words at the beginning of the list and the end of the list? And did you have a tendency to forget some of the words in the middle, like maybe snoring and tired, for example? If you did remember the words at the beginning or the end of the list more than the ones at the middle, think to yourself for a second, what is the term that you learned about for that? Our tendency to forget things in the middle of a list is known as, where do I have it in here? The serial positioning effect. The serial position effect, again, is this tendency to forget things in the middle of a list, and our tendency to remember the first items in a list and the last items are known as primacy and recency. So think about this in terms of your studying. If you know that you have to sit down and study an entire unit, it might be a good idea to start and end with the stuff from the unit that you know is trickiest and put the easy stuff in the middle of your studying session. And the reason for this serial positioning effect is, remember, the fact that the stuff at the beginning and the end of the list don't fall victim to both proactive and retroactive interference like the stuff in the middle does. The stuff in the middle falls victim to both proactive and retroactive interference. In other words, the stuff at the beginning of the list blocks the middle, as well as the stuff at the end of the list blocking what's in the middle. So again, just to real quickly review pro and retroactive interference, some students use this acronym and they never, ever, ever forget pro and retroactive interference because of the acronym that's here. Hopefully you can see it. Proactive interference is when old information keeps us from remembering stuff that is new. For example, when I change my password, the district requires us to change our password. I often will continue to type in the old password automatically until I get into a groove. That's an example of proactive interference. And then retroactive interference is when new information keeps us from remembering old stuff. So an example of that would be if I am learning about the Civil War, let's say battles of the Civil War, right? And that causes me to forget some of the information I learned or mix it up with information I learned earlier in the year about Revolutionary War battles. So there's a little summary of a real quick review of stuff that you learned in your last video.